Hello, awesome people. I hope you're having a great day today. Today we're taking a look at a short story that's in this publication From the Dead that we've been doing a deep dive into for you folks. That was published a few years ago by editor S.T. Joshi, who's a big name in the horror field as an editor. He's published a lot of things too about horror by classic writers like H.P. Lovecraft as an example that we've been doing a deep dive into. This is Edith Nesbit's The Shadow. It's about 10 pages long. I read it last night in about 20 pages in this, 20 minutes rather, in this oversized collection for you folks. What did I think about it? Well, as a reminder, I keep my reviews spoiler free. Basically what happens in this 10-page short story is that we have a few point of view characters, all young women who are over the age of 20, and they are telling ghost stories to each other. And then in the first page, we find out that they aren't really being very scared because they were all they just aren't believable, right? Somebody told somebody who told somebody, right? And so they are third hand or second hand, right? And so they aren't really that believable, and they don't believe in ghosts anyway. One of the help comes into the room in this state that these multiple ladies have, and they ask her to sit down and join them and tell a ghost story. And so this is the ghost story that's told by one of the help, and this is going to really scare them. And that's it. That's the story. That's the nature of the Shadow. I like what happened in this. I think it's a lot of fun stuff. I like the ending. I like the twist that happened by Edith Nesbit. Some good stuff happens in it. So I'm giving this probably like a 7.5 out of 10. It's definitely very strong, definitely worth your time. As a reminder, Edith Nesbit was a very popular writer during the pulp era when this was written more than 100 years ago. She wrote more than 60 novels during her career and was heavily published. Most of her stuff were children's and fantasy, so we read one actually for you folks recently and knocked it out. My first novel that I'd ever read by her, and I enjoyed it, and I'm glad that we did it. But I thought that it might be sort of like a launching point for a lot of other of her novels moving forward, but I just didn't feel it that much. So I didn't do that. Instead, I picked up this collection of horror stuff. She published a lot of horror stuff for adults too, in some collections, and this collects a lot of her horror stuff. I'll link you to this collection in the comments below. I'll also try to find it for you for free since this is past its copyright date. And the last two I found for free before doing my review, so I'm sure that this will probably be for free online too, since she was such a popular author. I read one of her short stories called Man Size in Marble when I was in junior high as part of a collection I got used with 5 short stories in it of the horror genre from one of my relatives for Christmas. I read it shortly thereafter, and I just recently went back and reread that collection for you folks and knocked out those short stories for you. Man Size in Marble is still my favorite short story by Edith Nesbit. It's a classic, and I really enjoy it. I've also gone back and read a couple of recent collections that had a story in it that reminded me of how much I liked her. So I went back and then found this, and so now we're knocking this out for you folks. So we're doing a deep dive into her for that reason. So there you go. I'll go ahead and leave you to it. Once again, the name of my channel is The Worst Thing About New Books. It's a quote by a French philosopher named Jacques Joubert, who said that the worst thing about new books was that they kept us from reading the old ones. So in this case, an older work like this and a collection like this of all older stuff that's pre-copyright is definitely key to be read, right? It's definitely older classics that we just forget to read. And so that's where the name of my title comes from, and my passion for this channel. If you enjoyed this, why not hit that subscribe button? There's a lot more of these to come. I've published 3 of these a week in the horror, science fiction, and fantasy genres. Have you read this? What did you think about it? Did you agree or disagree with my 7.5? Would you like to talk about spoilers or the ending or anything? Let's talk about it in the comments below. And then finally, I want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and investing it and watching my video. We all have so many things that happen in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me is incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.